This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Nissan is having a tough time, and its future is looking less bright. It's forecasting that its operating profits will drop 70% for its current fiscal year. It's going to slash its global production capacity by 20%. It's going to get rid of 9,000 employees, and it's selling off 10% of the shares that it has in Mitsubishi just to raise some more cash. Nissan's problems are also a drag on Renault. The French automaker still controls over 35% of Nissan shares and had to shave 111 million euros off its bottom line in the third quarter because of Nissan's poor financial performance. And the news isn't very encouraging at Mazda either. Its car sales were up a little over 2% for the first half of its fiscal year. But that's only because of strong sales in North America. Everywhere else in the world, they're down, with big drops in China and Japan. Mazda's revenue rose a little over 3%, but its operating income fell 20%, and its net income fell more than 67%. And all this goes to show that the auto industry is going through some hard times right now. The only real bright spot of Volkswagen's latest financial results was its heavy-duty truck maker Traton, but it was a different story at Daimler Truck. In the third quarter, sales were down 11%, which dragged revenue down by 5% and EBIT by 12%. And for the year, its free cash flow was dropped by 46%. But despite the declines, Daimler Truck didn't change its outlook for the rest of the year and says it will be putting its full attention on free cash flow in the fourth quarter. Rideshare company Lyft announced several partnerships to support its autonomous business. It's teaming up with Mobileye, which makes self-driving and ADAS technology, to make Lyft's rideshare platform available to all vehicles equipped with Mobileye's autonomous technology. But it didn't say when it will be available. In addition to Mobileye, Lyft is partnering with self-driving startup May Mobility, which will add its self-driving Toyota Sienna minivans to Lyft's fleet in Atlanta in 2025. And lastly, Lyft is partnering with Nexar, a company that makes dash cams to use video footage and data for R&D and to help improve its autonomous technology. The Volvo EX30 is finally coming to the US. Because the EV is made in China right now, Volvo decided to keep it out of the market when the US raised import tariffs 100% on Chinese-made EVs in September. It had been waiting for EX30 production to start in Belgium before bringing it to the US, but that production is not expected to start happening until next year sometime, so Volvo isn't waiting any longer. It says it will start delivering EX30s in the US before the end of the year. But it will not start with more affordable models, first launching our twin-motor all-wheel drive versions, which will start a little over $46,000 with destination charges. And hey, don't forget to check out Autoline After Hours later today. We have none other than Sandy Monroe coming on the show, and we sure have a lot to talk about with him. Like, what will the Trump administration's impact be on electric cars? And what role does he think his pal Elon Musk will play in the administration? And just a whole bunch more. So, join John and Gary when the show goes live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
Automakers in Europe have been saying it will be difficult for them to meet tougher CO2 emissions that kick in next year, and as a result, will face billions of euros in fines. But the Climate Commissioner, the person that actually oversees the EU's policies on climate change, said those fears may be overstated and wants to figure out how the industry can stick to the targets. So, if the commissioner is reappointed by the European Parliament for 5 more years, which is supposed to happen later this month, there probably won't be much of a change. However, with the EU sticking to its emission targets, The commissioner said it was fair for the auto industry to ask for more investment in an EV charging infrastructure. That has the potential to be a nice boost to the EV industry. But EV sales in Europe still aren't high enough to allow automakers to meet next year's CO2 targets. So they'll likely face fines. The last time emission rules got harder in 2020 to 2021, automakers had to pay out more than 500 million euros in fines. VW alone paid more than 100 million. And it likely would have been a lot more, but companies were allowed to pool their emissions with other more fuel-efficient automakers. Stellantis, for example, teamed up with Tesla. And that's what we're already starting to see again this time around. Suzuki says it will pool its emissions with Volvo, Mazda and Honda will pool with Toyota, and Renault and VW also say they're open to it. And that's going to be good news for the companies that are taking in these less fuel-efficient automakers. Between 2019 and 2021, Stellantis paid about $2.4 billion to buy European and U.S. carbon credits from Tesla. Stellantis did end that partnership in 2021, claiming it sold enough electrified models in Europe to meet the emission targets. There's still a lot of skepticism around fuel cells, but Hyundai believes it can sell between 50,000 and 200,000 units of its next-gen fuel cell system a year, including for both passenger and commercial vehicles. However, it says it can't do it by itself, and demand will be influenced by the price of hydrogen, government support, and the availability of refueling stations. Hyundai began selling fuel cell vehicles in 2013 with the Tucson iX35, and since then, it's only sold about 42,500 fuel cell vehicles, and the Nexo, which went on sale in 2018, accounts for most of that with nearly 40,000 sales. Here's a bit of a surprise. The all-new Mercedes CLA, which goes on sale next year, will be offered with a 2-liter turbocharged engine that's made by Geely in China. It's rated at 250 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque. Those engines will be shipped to Hungary to get installed into the CLAs. And actually, this is an engine that's made by Horse, the joint venture between Renault and Geely. And no doubt this all came about because Geely owns 10% of Mercedes-Benz. XPeng is offering customers an upgrade to their existing models with a very intriguing promotion. It's not an over-the-air update. It would physically install new chips for improved Level 2 driving and for better in-vehicle infotainment, or IVI. For the Level 2 upgrade, XPeng wants to offer dual NVIDIA Orin X chips instead of just one. The IVI upgrade swaps out a Qualcomm 820A chip for a new Snapdragon 8295 chip that's also made by Qualcomm. But XPeng wants to crowdfund this update, meaning if enough people sign up, it will go ahead with it. Otherwise, it won't. The Level 2 upgrade will cost $2,800, and it says at least 1,000 people have to sign up for it, while the IVI upgrade is $700 and at least 4,000 people have to sign up. We think it's a very clever way to test the market. You get your customers to pony up the money before you pull the trigger. Suzuki revealed the Vitara, its first mass-produced pure electric vehicle. And this is the electric made-in-India SUV that Toyota will get from Suzuki, which was just announced the other day. The model features a lithium iron phosphate, or LFP, battery pack that comes in 2 sizes, 49 or 61 kilowatt hours. The 49 kilowatt hour battery is available only in front-wheel drive models, which produce 106 kilowatts or 144 horsepower. The 61 kilowatt hour battery has a range of 250 miles or 403 kilometers and is available in front-wheel drive models that make 128 kilowatts or 174 horsepower, or all-wheel drive models that produce 135 kilowatts or 184 horsepower. As we said, the Vitara will be built in India, and it goes on sale in Europe, India, and Japan next summer. That brings us to the end of today's show. I hope to see you later during Autoline After Hours.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. And by Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Developing today's vehicles. Issues can happen in an instant. When's the best time to solve a problem? The minute you know you have one. Meet Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your secure, off-the-shelf solution empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Performance that shines, even in the rain. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Potenza tires, improved grip in wet conditions.